Cool, man. So I wanted to take a second and respond to your question, the subtraction question. Weird fitness thought. What if most breakthroughs come from removing things, not adding them? Quote, real progress usually starts where the excess ends. Question, if someone simply cut the junk food, cut the program hopping, and focused on a few hard lifts, would that outperform most complicated routines? Or do we secretly enjoy adding more stuff because it feels like progress? I think we can just narrow it down to that one question, right? If someone simply cut the junk food out, cut the program hopping, and focused on a few hard lifts, would that outperform most complicated routines? In simple terms, absolutely. I think that is an absolute no brainer. That is exactly how it works. To me, I think we go back to what Hormozy says, right? The multi-sided die. If we just keep showing up, if we just keep rolling it, eventually it all turns green. The issue that most people have is that they aren't consistent. It's not that they don't put enough effort in the acute, it's that they can't put enough effort in the long term. The aggregate effort of all of the repeated small amounts of effort, right? And so I was talking about this on my live stream this morning, that I've never been so consistent in my entire life, and I have never made the progress that I have currently achieved, even in just the past year. You said it really well when we first met, that I thought it would have been like 6 years or 2 years, not less than a year. And that goes to show you the power of compounding these small wins, these small efforts over not even that long of a time, but a long time, right? And so it's just showing up and being consistent. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, we're going after the minimum effective dose. We don't need to work hard for the sake of working hard. We just need to do good enough. And so a good starting point is 80% compliance on anything you set out to do, right? If you want to set out on a new nutrition plan, on a new workout routine, on whatever, let's shoot for 80% compliance. So how do we break that down? Well, there's 7 days in a week, right? So how many days, like let's say we got to check the box, right? Day 1, check. Day 2, check. What is 80% compliance? Is it 5 out of 7? Is it 6 out of 7? So it's 6 out of 7, right? And so what we need to do is, if we're going to do like daily tasks, we need to do it 6 out of the 7 days a week. That's not too bad. That gives you at least one day where you don't have to do it at all. If we can do it, of course we should shoot for it. But I'll give you a really good example. Even on my really strict nutrition right now, I go out on Sundays with my friends and have a refeed. Now, there's some nuances to that. Like, I'm not drinking alcohol right now, but when we go out to breakfast or brunch or lunch or dinner, I don't limit myself on what I get. I'm mindful about it. Again, I only eat at meals. I'm not snacking all day. So of course, there's some inherent restrictions around calories, but I don't limit what I get, and I certainly don't track even on these days. And we're still making progress. We're still leaning out. We're still moving towards our goals because I'm meeting that 80% compliance rule. Now, once we get 80% compliance dialed in, now we start moving to 90% compliance. 90% compliance is where we start to blow things out of the water. We don't need to be 100% compliant or 100% efficient to beat everybody. People struggle to even get 80% compliance. If you look at a bell curve under that first standard deviation, that's where most people exist, and 80% compliance is at the top of that one standard deviation. So you're still in the average at 80% compliant, but you're already at the top. So if we can get to 90% compliant, you're outside of that first standard deviation. You are no longer in the average. You are outperforming everybody, literally everybody. And that is why it is so effective to be consistent. That is why it is so effective to shoot for that 80% compliance, that 90% compliance. And it allows us to still maintain some sanity. We don't have to white knuckle it and work with relentlessness and just exhaust all of our internal resources, right? We have to work hard, but we also have to manage that cognitive load. And if we go in from the outset that less is more, and we say, hey, as long as I do this, as long as it's enough, I'm going to be okay. That is why less is more. That is exactly how we get to the point where we can look back and say, holy cow, this is amazing. Because you're right, less is more. We don't need to overcomplicate it, and we certainly don't need to program hop. The shiny object syndrome is killer. Just show up, get the data, collect the data, and do it day in and day out. Be consistent for 1 week, then 2 weeks, then 1 month, then 2 months, then 1 quarter, then 1 semester, then a year. And before you know it, your life is going to be radically different. Hey guys, if you like this video and you like this format, you can actually have any of your questions answered exactly like this. All you have to do is scan the QR code or click the link in the description and join my free community. So I have a community hosted on the Skool platform where all of my members, free and my one-on-one clients, are all a part, and they can ask questions to me directly. And inside of the community, I will take the time to answer your questions incredibly detailed and in depth. And if it warrants a video, I will record a video just like this, pop it on YouTube, answer the question directly, but really go into a deep dive, detailed answer to your question. So if you like that, if you have questions about weight loss, lifestyle, mindset, finances, anything that I talk about, anything that you're struggling with, pop in, join the community. Like I said, it's completely free, and ask away. We also do a bunch of other things like daily audits, updates. We have a wins page, announcements. So it's really just an awesome place to join others on the same journey that you're on, right? I've done this journey myself. There's plenty of others alongside of you that are on similar journeys, and building that support system, that community, whether it's in person or virtual, is super, super vital. So like I said, you can scan the QR code or click the link in the description if that sounds like a good fit. And again, it is free. I will see you next time, guys.